This will be my fourth video on my Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 characters, and this time we're going to be looking at my Namekian, known as Choga. Now, I came up with some kind of unusual lore. It's a fan fiction, so I thought I could just add stuff to it. So, Choga actually comes from a Namekian clan that does not live on Namek. They moved off of the planet back when the great drought and the storms occur, and they fled the planet and a starship and arrived in a place known as the planet Earlia. I kind of changed the lore a bit for them, whereas they have their own naming schisms like other characters, although instead of being named after slugs or snails, the Namekians from Choga's clan are actually named after the Lovecraftian mythos characters, things like Cthulhu and like the Kraken and all that. And Choga himself, his name is a take on the Shoggoth, which is a Lovecraftian monster. One day, Choga learns from the prophet of his clan of a event that will occur in the future, and this story tells him that alien creatures will go to the planet Namek, intent on using the Dragon Balls there to make wishes. And on the first wish, a Namekian who disappeared would reappear. When the second wish was made, the Super Saiyan of legend would appear on Namek, and once the third wish was made, everyone on the planet Namek would disappear except the Super Saiyan. Choga interprets this prophecy to mean the Super Saiyan will be the one responsible for Namek's destruction, so he makes it his goal to go to Namek and prevent the destruction by stopping the Super Saiyan of legend. But to do this, he has to actually find Namek because he doesn't know where it is. During his search for Namek, he ambushes a Saiyan space pirate named Turles, who eats fruit from the Tree of Might, and Choga assumes that perhaps this is how the Super Saiyan appears, although when he fights Turles and defeats him, he realizes this does not fall into the prophecy whatsoever. Choga then later fights a Namekian exile known as Lord Slug, who happens to know the actual location of Namek, and thanks to his information, Choga is able to find the planet and go there. By the time he gets to Namek, Frieza's invasion has already begun, so Choga stays in one of the Namekian villages, stating that he's going to wait until the Super Saiyan appears, although he doesn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation with the Frieza invasion. He convinces himself that Frieza is nothing compared to the Super Saiyan that will destroy Namek unless he makes his move, and the villagers remind him that that's not exactly the case. It looks like Frieza himself will be responsible for the planet's destruction unless he acts. The village is ultimately discovered by Zarbon, who was recently defeated himself by piracy, and Zarbon isn't sure why she spared his life, but he's also convinced himself that she is the Super Saiyan of legend, considering how powerful she was, and he's on his way to tell Frieza about this when Choga ambushes him and takes him out. Choga ultimately ambushes Parasi and demands to know if she is the Super Saiyan, and if not, then to tell him who it is. And Parasi doesn't even know what a Super Saiyan is, so she tells him she doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks she's lying and attacks her, and nearly kills her in battle until Dende intervenes, stating that Parasi is fighting to protect Namek from Frieza. And Choga tries telling Dende that the Super Saiyan is the one responsible for Namek's destruction, that he's seen it in the prophecy, but Dende convinces him that the Saiyans are actually here to help Namek, and that if he really wants to save the planet, that he should go after Frieza. Choga takes Dende's words to heart and does go after Frieza, and holds him off long enough for everyone to use the Dragon Balls and make the first two wishes, which are to bring Piccolo back to life, which also brings Kami back to life, and to bring Piccolo to Namek so that he could avenge the Namekians whom Frieza had killed. And even though Frieza ends up killing Choga, his last words to Frieza are laughter and telling him of the prophecy that the Super Saiyan will come and destroy him, and that he's already lost. Choga is later brought back to life by Shenron when the wish for everyone on Namek who was killed by Frieza and his army are to come back to life, which is also how they revive Grand Elder Guru and Porunga, and then use that wish to bring everyone on Namek to Earth, except for Goku and Frieza. Choga then takes Bojack's place as the main antagonist of the tournament arc from Bojack Unbound, where he's the one that fights Piccolo in the tournament, and is the final opponent that Goku and Parasi fight, while Gohan goes on to win the tournament by getting into the elevator first. And Choga has no interest in winning the tournament. He only wanted to test himself against the Super Saiyan that defeated Frieza on Namek to see if he truly was powerful enough to face him. And during this battle, he turns into a giant, and he appears to almost defeat Goku and Parasi, and then they go Super Saiyan and fight him, and he ultimately just quits the fight because the battle was over, and he could tell just by their power that he didn't really stand a chance against them, and needed to become stronger. Because of how the Cell arc plays out in fan fiction, the Cell games never occur, as Cell never achieved his perfect form, which meant Goku was still alive, and was able to enter this tournament, when in Bojack Unbound he was already dead, and only appears briefly at the end. This time he fights Choga, and it's kind of similar to the fight between him and Lord Slug from that movie. Before he leaves Earth, Choga travels to a snowy mountain and leaves an egg behind, as he was instructed to do so by someone else. Then he disappears, later showing up to help Goku and Vegeta fight Janemba. Even though he's not actually dead and they are, he appears in the other world and holds off Janemba long enough for them to use fusion. Choga has two primary builds. His first build is basically how he looks throughout the fanfiction. He has maximum charge,
Reinforcements are heading this way as we speak. If you want to turn tail,
Whirlwind Blade, Gallic Beam Cannon, Evil Flame, Evil Blast. Serious Bomb, and he can also turn into a giant, which I use with the Let's See How You Handle This Power Super Soul that is a brand new Super Soul that was added with the Grade 8 Baby Raid that happened a few weeks ago. You get an L boost to damage while in giant form using this Super Soul. The second build is sort of a tournament-style outfit for Choga, where he wears the demon symbol Gi, and instead of giant form, I gave him Potential Unleashed. Both builds also use the Break Strike as his evasive move. Still uses Whirlwind Blade. Instead of Evil Flame, this build uses a Sudden Storm. And it's still got Gallic Beam Cannon on this build. Instead of Evil Blast, I equipped dual Remote Serious Bomb, which is Fuse Dual Ultimate.
I don't believe it! This is a nightmare!
And that about covers it for this character. And you're probably, if you're wondering what the egg was that he left behind, interestingly enough, it wasn't one of his eggs. Choga doesn't actually spit up eggs like the other Namekian elders can. The egg he left behind is a bit similar to a different kind of hibernation cocoon that we'll see in the next video. We'll find out what was inside. As it turns out, it's another character that plays a big role in the fanfiction. And that'll be the next video I make, so I'll see you for that one. And I'll see you later for now.